All right, guys, we're back. I didn't get any footage at the Dakota Duel because it was really cold, really windy on day one on Saturday. Um, 23 degrees, I think it was, with 11 to 17 mile per hour on Saturday. And then Sunday, this is a 2-day match for the Dakota Duel. And on Sunday, it was colder, but less wind and sunny instead of cloudy. So it felt a lot warmer. It felt a lot better, even though it was technically colder on Sunday. But let's get into it. So what I did realize, though, on the briefing for the Dakota Duel, there's a lot of questions of how to shoot it, because let's say you got 5 targets, right? These are your 5 targets, left or right, then near to far type of deal. Let's say that. So you have shooter A shoots target 1, okay, with 2 shots. Let's say 2 shots per. And then target or shooter B shoots the same target twice. And then shooter A shoots this, shooter B shoots this, shooter A twice, shooter B. So you just stay on the same target and go through. You don't have to run it all the way and then have your partner run it the whole way. So there was that question. I've been shooting the Dakota Duel for 5 years now, and that's typically the way it was ran. One thing I don't like about the Dakota Duel, though, is how your first round impact is worth 3 points, and then your second round is worth 1 point. I think that just skews the results. Yeah, first round impacts are nice and, maybe should be weighted, but it's not on any other match. It is all about how many impacts you get. So that's one thing I don't like about it, but it is what it is. But anyway, that was a big thing. That was a question. I will say, let's say you got, let's go here. Okay. 3 targets, right? Near or far. Okay. Say this is a single. This is a double rack. This is a double rack. We had one like that. It's the triangle stage 3, but we'll get into that. So let's say you got 1 target here, 2 targets, 2 targets. So you have large, small is what I mean. So typically what we did and what I've been doing and other teams did, you shoot this one, then your partner shoots this one. You shoot this one large twice, small twice, then your partner shoots large twice, small twice. So you shoot all 4, and then same one, this one here. You shoot the large twice, then small twice, and your partner shoots large twice, small twice. So that's another one. You got your 5, 2 rounds per, and then if you got a double stack, you just go and shoot 4 in a row unless the RO says otherwise, which is completely fine. On stage 7, nothing against the RO, nothing against it, because he ran it the same the whole way. So no hard feelings. But with his stage, he said the double rack, shooter A will engage the large target, shooter B will engage the large target, shooter A will engage the small target, shooter B will engage the small target. So as long as that was confirmed beforehand and carried across day 1, day 2, all the same for every shooter, no gripe about it. That's completely fine. But typically, we just shoot large, small, send all 4 of them. Maybe they did it that way because he wanted to. The scoring, who knows? Doesn't matter as long as it's ran the same whole way across. So with that, if you have any other questions, leave a comment, a message me, anything like that. That's how we've ran our Dakota Duel. The 3 different match directors now. That's the way they've ran it, is 3 points for first round impact, 1 point for second round impact. And then the same kind of the shooting order. If they got them double stacked there, that same shooter will send all 4 rounds or whatever. Except on stage 4, but we'll get into that. So we had the same course fire, just a simple, this is all simple, near to far, then a little bit of description on the targets. And because it's this big, I'll read it. So stage 1, I'll go over what it is, how we did on day 1 and day 2, then overall. So stage 1, it was IPSC troop. We did not start on stage 1, we started on stage 3, but anyway, stage 1, IPSC troop. So this was the long range one and went out to 1126. So we had 480 yards, 618. Those were stacked up to our left, basically. And then 793, which was target 3, was over here. And then 1,000 was over here. And then 1126 went back to the left, almost above target 3. And that's important because I like courses of fire like this, not just all square range where everything is in the same direction. You get the wind on the first stage and you carry that wind the rest of the day. It's easy. If you learn about that, get it in your kestrel right, just run it the same the whole day. Typically works out. Change it as you need to. But I like this one because you were going from here, so over here and then back. So you had to have that different wind directions in your kestrel. So that was, I do like stages like that. So on day one, I don't remember exactly how we did, but we were able to get a few impacts here. First rounders, because they're weighted. And then go out here. I missed target 4. And then I sent it at 11:26 and he was able to hit that one twice on day one. And the partner kind of was par with me there. So, my partner was Michael Fast. You've seen him in Snipe on Snowman, that one. He was in the passenger seat for that. So that was a good on day one. And then day 2, went through and was doing really well. But on day 2, with the wind, it was really weird because target 1 and 2, just boom, 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 boom. 4 impacts there for us. Then we went to target 3, and I was in wind column 1. I do 3 wind columns, and wind column 1 was lining up, so I shot wind column 1 at target 3, and target 5 at 11:26 is right above it. So target 3 was able to hit that. Target 4 missed first round, hit second round, then went up to target 5, and wind column 1 for target 3 worked. So I'm going to run wind column 1 for target 5, which would have been 7/10, if I remember my note card correctly. So I dial 7/10 right in there, and I send the first round. And with these targets, they weren't skylined, but there was no hill behind them. It was like 20, 80 yards behind the target. So it was kind of hard to read left and rights of where you missed. But this one, I clearly seen, I was off the right, measured it real quick, 0.5 mil off, measured it, sent it, holding over, and was able to make impact at 11:26 with 2/10 of wind. And at that time, it was, I think we were measuring, our low wind was 6 mile per hour, 6, 8, and 10. And so that was 2/10. When at target 3, I was holding 3/10. So it was just crazy how those hills and valleys and stuff, and the wind going up and down here in South Dakota. So then getting into stage 2, critter hunt. This was a lot of fun. I did make a mental mistake on day 1 because you went from 11:26 and my dope was 10 even. And then you went to a critter hunt with the prairie dog at 362. So prairie dogs, narrow targets. So you had a prairie dog at 362, prairie dog at 440, a bear, and then a prairie dog on the same target stand. So remember, we sent 4. And then a bobcat at 567. That's a fun story right there. Brock and Corey, we had a lot of fun with that bobcat. It has a force field around it. We're the only squad that couldn't really hit it. But anyway, so day 1, made a mental mistake. I was scope was set at 0, or 10 even. And I go to dial up my 362. So 1 something maybe. I'd run that 6-dasher, was the rifle I ran for the weekend. Ran great. But 362, I go to shoot. No call. Partner says no call. You're able to talk to each other because you're laying down next to each other. It's all prone the whole match. And no way I missed a 362-yard prairie dog. And I look up and the little red indicator on the Razor Gen 3 is out. And it's like, okay. So come back down, got the second run impact, so it cost me 3 points. Then prairie dog, just continued on. But that bobcat, I sent 3 rounds at that bobcat because it was the last stage of the day for day 1. 1, 2, missed it, partner missed. And it's like, what the heck is going on here? So I asked the RO if I could send 1 more, grab one from a 2-round holder. Sent it, still couldn't hit that bobcat. And the crazy thing is that bobcat, 567 yards. In my backyard, I got a target at 600 yards. That's a 3-inch diamond. You guys seen it on the YouTube. No problem hitting that with that rifle or any other rifle. 3-inch diamond at 600. I could not hit a bobcat at 567 yards. Couldn't hit it day 1. Couldn't hit it day 2. No idea. And even on day 2, I went through and I think I cleaned everything. I even hit that prairie dog at 483 yards twice. Boom, boom. Had the wind out perfectly. And then you just go up and to the right just a little bit, and you got this big white bobcat at 567 yards. Couldn't hit it. I had the right wind columns. I cleaned the whole stage out until that bobcat missed the 4 points there. So the fun story was our squad, for some reason, could not hit that target. We could not. Day 1 or day 2. There was one team in our squad on day 2 that hit 3 times, and then another team hit it once between, both team members. But it was just an elusive thing. And Corey and Brock, they were in my squad. They were just having a heyday with this thing. They just wanted to send all 10 rounds, obviously kidding, but they just wanted to send all 10 rounds of this elusive cat. You can't hit it. Is it the right yardage? We're ranging it. Other people are hitting it. The RO's like, every squad's able to hit that. It's like a gimme, except our squad yesterday or for Saturday and Sunday. It was ridiculous. So I felt so bad for Corey and Brock. So you got this prairie dog targets, right? Narrow little guys. And I'm on my Vortex Razor UHDs right on top of them. You can see every round. You see exactly where that round goes. You can see the trace going to it. You see the splash, everything. Great glass. You got to order some. Anyway, if you need to fare, let me know. But anyway, you're laying down next to each other. And like I said, that hill behind it is 20 to 80 yards, depending on the target behind it. So if you go off the left side and your shooter's on your right and they see it splash behind the target, they could see it splash from the right-hand side. You see what I'm saying? So they say, you went off to the right. So what do? They move left, even though they went off on the left because of the wind coming this way. So they go off and off the left. I see it clearly. Their partner says you went off the right because they seen the splash on this side of the target. And so what's he do? He moves over left 3/10, 2/10, because it's just a prairie dog. Can't miss it by much. And he sends another one even further left. It's like, oh my gosh. And you can hear him making these calls. And I think they end up scoring at 10 on this. Not making fun of you guys. Probably not even going to watch it. But anyway, not making fun of, but you felt so bad. Every call was the wrong way. And then what's Corey do for Brock? He does the same thing, not on purpose, but he does the same thing. You're off the right. So he moves over to the left. And he was off the other way. It's like, oh my gosh, every call. And another guy in my squad was spotting with me. And it was just like every call. It's like, oh no, it's just, you can see where it went and it went the wrong way. So then they were doing horrible on the stage on day 2. I don't remember how they did day 1. But day 2, they're doing horrible on the stage. And they get to the cat. And I'm like, all right, get that cat. And they're like, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And that's what they're kidding around the whole time because they were the second to last squad to shoot, or the last squad to shoot on that day of that stage. And they go to shoot that cat. Miss and miss and miss and miss. So 4 shots they miss. So Brock's like, can I send one more? You gotta ask the RO. He says, yeah, send it. So he grabs it around, throws it in there, shoots again, misses underneath the chin of it. It's like, yeah, they did horrible on the stage, horrible on the cat. Oh my gosh, it was painful to watch, but hilarious at the same time because of how much they were talking about the cat, the elusive cat. It's a force field around the cat. Is it at the right range? All kinds of stuff. It was just hilarious. But anyway, it's so fun to shoot with people. If you haven't been to a match, you just got to go to a match. And this one, like I said, it's all prone. You're laying down next to your partner. It's a great beginner match. Speaking of which, Michael, my partner, this was his first ever center fire match. So we were partners. He did very well, did great, was doing good at the calls when I missed. And, I was able to see a lot of my impacts too, or the misses or whatever. But he was calling correct. So that's huge. And then me getting him on target too. And then all the kind of the training also, what to do to pre-plan, how to get the win, stuff like that. So great for beginners. Stage 3, triangles. So on day 1, this is the stage we started on. So Michael and I, we got on these triangles. If you haven't shot a triangle, you got to get some triangle targets. They are a pain in the butt. Just think about it. This, okay? You have this wide area here, right? And then you don't up here. So it's like a very narrow target. Pain in the butt. I got to get some for own. I don't have any. But anyway, so you had a small, Brock called it a Taco Bell. It looked like a weird triangle. It looked like a bell. At 551, then another pair at 571. So you had a large and a small. And then another one at 639, a large and a small. And they slowly went this way, and it went near to far. All these have been near to far so far. So this little Taco Bell, Michael and I pull up on day one, just boom, 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 4 impacts, got it. Or maybe 3 impacts. I think may have missed his first, but he gave me a good white call, so I was able to get mine too. Speaking of what, we alternated. Typically, it's up to your team, but typically we switch. So like say I started on stage 1, I shoot first, and then he shoots. Then stage 2, he would shoot first, and then I would shoot. Then stage 3, continue on like that. So I think he started out on the triangles, gave me a good win call. So if he misses first, got a second, he told me what he did for win. I was able to, we just talked in the win columns, win 2. All right, cool. I sent mine, got my first 2 impacts, right? That little Taco Bell, go through the other triangles, just got bigger and easy. Day 2, we could not hit that little Taco Bell to save our lives, but the rest, we were able to get those, no problem. Stage 4, this one was fun. My partner was being a little cocky on this one. Now on purpose, but that's what I gave him a hard time for, was he was just being cocky. Because on day 1, you got 5 circles, okay? And this is important here. So it was bottom was a small one, then a larger one, and then middle post was even larger, and then a big one on the right. And the order for this one is the only one that was small to large. So he was shooting first on this one. So I must have shot first on the triangles. He shot first on this one. And we said, because all 5 targets are on the same plane, same range, just, hey, if you got your win on that first one, just send it, go to town, right? Because it just got, if you can hit that little one, I think it was maybe a 4-inch, 5-inch, I don't know. But if you can hit that little one twice, just boom, boom, well, then they just got bigger and bigger. So just keep going. So what's he do? He hits that little one, boom, hits it again. I'm like, oh, you got this. Continue that win, focus on your squeeze. You got 5 minutes for both of us to shoot. Well, I'm used to the PRS NRL game. I could clean this whole thing in 30 seconds. You're prone, all the targets are there, boom, boom, go. So take your time, focus on your trigger squeeze. He shoots that small one, boom, impact. I said, all right, focus on your trigger squeeze, you got the win, go. Sends the second one, boom, impact. The next one above it, boom, boom, impact, impact. He says, all right, middle, bottom. I said, yes. He goes to shoot, he hits target 1, that little guy. He hits that. I'm like, quit being cocky. Middle, bottom. Oh, and the RO goes wrong target, and he just feels miserable because that's worth 3 points. So that was his mental error. Oh gosh, it was hilarious, but at the same time, I was like, come on now. He even called it, and he felt bad, so no big deal. I gave him a hard time. He gave me a hard time about my being a rev off. It's all fun. But it was just like, so we got up off the line, like, quit being cocky and shoot the right target. He would have cleaned it. He got everything. 10 rounds, 10 impacts, but one of the rounds was on the wrong target. So that was funny. I did not clean it. I think I missed the first one twice. On day 2, I think I did better. Day 2, we did a lot better as a team, but I think everybody did. It was less wind, sunny, a lot warmer, and then we already knew the course fire because it doesn't change between day 1 and day 2. You shoot the same thing. All right, so stage 5. Stage 5 was squares. 408 was a diamond, and then you had 639, 763, and then 862, the large one and small. So this one was a diamond down here, then squares, the rest of squares. Just pretty basic, yeah, I don't really remember it. It's just large to small, near to far, just go up. I know on day 1, we did horrible at it. I think we got like a 15. But then on day 2, we never went below 20 or 22 points for our team on each stage. So that went a lot better. Sorry, I don't really remember that one. I just know on stage 1 or day 1, we did horrible on it. Day 2, we did better. But the coyotes, this one, I don't know what happened on day 1. So coyotes, coyote-sized targets, and he had them kind of pointed down, looked like a fox diving in, on National Geographic or something, diving down in the snow after a mouse or whatever, facing different ways. It was different and interesting. Even in the wind, you didn't have this big wide coyote like you typically do on stages that you have these, because the coyote's like, okay, I can get my wind. You got huge buffer. You got a mill on each side or whatever. You got huge. Just guess at the wind. It'll be good, right? No, not with this one, because they were tilted down and stuff like that. So you have 422, 498, 526, 568, and then 598. I don't know why, but on day one, my last 4 shots at coyote 568 and 598, I could not see trace. I could not see where they landed. No one behind me. So I shot. Partner says no call. Send another one. No call. Then he shoots or whatever order. And then target 5 did the same thing. I think he would shoot first. Gave me his win call. No idea. No clue. So I even get up and I said, did anybody see where those last 4 rounds went? Because nothing. And like I just said, in the backyard, I got it 600 yards. 3-inch plate. No problem. This is at 598. A coyote at 598. No splash routed, no nothing. I'm checking my scope, checking everything. Everything's good. No idea where they went. But then day 2 comes. I said, all right, the coyotes, after day 1, Saturday night, I came back home. It was 38 degrees and sunny, low wind. God, it was beautiful here. And I was 50 minutes away from the match. So I just came home Saturday night. So I go out back real quick, confirm at 275, confirm at what? 380, 370, I think. And then I confirm at 600. Everything's going good with that rifle. It's running great. Hit that 3-inch of 600. So that just builds my confidence. It was me. That was the problem on day 1, not the gun. So day 2, I go back, get to the coyote stage, and it's like, all right, I just hit a 3-inch last night. The gun's good. So I just go boom, boom, boom. We're taking our turns, go through, clean all the coyotes, get to that last one, shoot, impact, and then it's like, holy cow. It felt like I was on that last coyote for probably like 5 seconds, just waiting to squeeze that trigger. I don't know. But it was just like, I was thinking, if I hit this impact, I clean the stage. So that would be great. The second stage clean on day 2 of the day. So I could just close the bolt. I'm on it. Look at my timer. I'm still on the gun. Looking up at my timer. I had a little timer up here on my Hawkins rings. And I got like a minute 20. I'm just sitting on there. Just like, God, if I make this impact, I clean the stage. And just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. Finally squeeze it off. Hit the coyote, clean the stage. Was just like, couldn't believe it. It felt like I was on that trigger forever, but I was able to clean it day 2. No idea what happened day 1. Then we get to our last stage, circles and diamonds. 393. This one was a little tricky. We had target failure. I think there was 3 target failures across the whole weekend, and my squad was the cause of 2 of them. It was actually the same team that caused it on day 1, and then on the same target stand caused the target failure on day 2. But anyway, so you had a circle and a diamond at 393, so same target stand, so typically it's on 4. But this RO, he said, shooter A will shoot it twice, and then shooter B will shoot it twice, then the smaller target is shooter A and then shooter B. So that's fine because you ran the same way both days for all teams, no problem. So at 393, a circle and a diamond. Then at 552, a circle and a diamond. And then at 631, they had this gray diamond, which it should be gray. I'm for gray. No benefit from the last team to the first team. It's great. Same. It's not all shot out of nothing. It's all just great. They had it in front of a rock pile. And the rock pile was obviously gray. And they have this orange stripe going through it. And that's all you could see. So it's like you get on there, you get your binos set up, you're just looking, okay, I found 4 targets, where's number 5? I can't find it at all. You're like looking for the rock pile. I'm looking up and down all around it, nothing. They're like, it has an orange stripe, it's right in front of the orange pile, or it's right in front of the rock pile, orange stripe across, it's really hard to see. And then all you can see is a faint little orange line going across or a red line. And it's like, all right, this will be interesting. And I said, how can you see through the gun? Like, you can see. fine through the rifle. I'm like, okay, cool. So day one, we had target failure because at 393, they had the large circle, shooter A, then shooter B, and then the bottom target was like sliding down the post. They had AR 500 posts out there, which are great, by the way, but it was sliding down. So Brock and Corey again, these guys. Corey shoots it and it just kind of seems like it's sliding down. Well, then Brock shoots it and it looked like it just planted in the snow. And they're like, I said, target failure. And then he's like, well, I think I could hit it. I'm like, okay, just aim a little low. He goes, sends it. It almost looks like he skipped the ground in front of it. And then it hit the steel because it was just so implanted. And then they continue on and we had target failure. So they were going to come around and put it back up. So they continue their shooting, we did great, whatever. And then they go fix that target and move it back up and put a new pin in it or whatever they need to do. And Brock looks at that. Well, that's a lot bigger than what I was shooting at because this target this is the top that just went around and then the circle, the small circle. And so he was aiming at that little hook thing. That's all you could see because the rest of it was in the snow. And so we were all laughing about that. And then on day two, I don't know how they did it, but the top big circle, I think it was Corey, he shot, it bounced, and then just went boop, and fell right off target same. It's like, no, we'd never seen that big a steel or anything like that. Wow, where are they out to that? So day one and day two, they both caused the target failure, just a slight pause. They had someone on a side-by-side row there and fix it real quick, no big deal. But for my team, Michael and I, when we shot it, it was fine. Just that large one, then he shot, and then I shot, whatever. Then the small one, no big deal, because it was a lot bigger than what Brock was shooting at. And then going up to the next one, and like I said before, it was kind of hard to spot because these targets had a hill behind it, but the hill was beyond it, long ways beyond it. So it's kind of hard to help your partner out of it was here or there or whatever. So there's that. Then at 6:31, you had that diamond in the rock pile. That was actually really easy to see because you had that rock pile behind. So when you shot, if you missed on either side, you could clearly see because it was right in front of the rock pile. You could see if you're off left or off right and then go over correct and send the next one. So that was nice. And yeah, through your Razor Gen 3, yeah, you could see it, that orange stripe going across it. I missed off the right the first round impact, so that cost me 3 points, and then just moved over because you can see the rock that you hit and you're able to correct. So afterwards, awards, everything went great. Decent prize table. Sounds like everybody had fun. It was a good match, considering that it was all prone, and because it's all prone because you're laying down next to your partner and then shooting these targets together. So you only can do so much. The only thing I would have changed is I know there was a few mental errors talking to some other teams at the awards. The only thing I would have done is more, everything was near to far, basically, and then large to small, except for that circle stage where all 5 were there, and it was small to large. The only thing I would have done is kind of like change the target order, like have your troop line going across, whatever, and done like target 3, target 2, target 1, target 5, target 4. Just kind of mix it up like that. Just have more communication between you and your partner, making sure you're on the right target, target identification. Because I know I wanted to mic Michael and I up. I got a new mic for both of us. But because of how cold it was, batteries wouldn't have lasted long. We were so bundled up. I don't know where you would have even put the mic, and I honestly didn't want to deal with it. I was just cold on day one. But our communication was great. Target identification, with the coyotes, it's this color coyote. You got 2 white trees in the background, above the skyline there. Yep. And then you could engage your target. So it's just confirming that. He was running a 6 arc. Yeah. The Hornady 6 arc. He was using factory ammo out of an impact I built for him or put together for him. That rifle ran really well. And then I was running my dasher, and our wind was within, our elevation was about 3/10 off. Obviously, if it grew the further out, like on stage 1, but it went really well. He did really well, just talking to each other. And then our wind was within 1/10 of each other. But like I said, we ran the same old clock and we ran the same mile per hour. So when whoever shot first, I'm running wind column 2, wind 2, wind 3, wind 1 and 1, whichever it was. So then, hey, if that worked for me, in theory, if everything is lining up, wind 2 should work for him. So that worked really well for us. When we did do those calls, even though we weren't in the same 10th, it's not like we had both the same caliber, same speed, stuff like that. That is huge help if you do that. But they went really well, just having that in sync there. So day 1 results, we were in 11th with 157. And then let's see here, day 2 results, we were still in 11th with a 183. So we did do better on day 2. But then in the end, some people kind of shuffled around a little bit, but not a lot. But we still stayed in 11th for a total of 340, and the winner was at 430. And I heard they had cloned guns, basically. They were running the same speed, same rounds, same everything. They look identical. So good for them. I think that is the way to do it, because then you can have that conversation. If I'm on with the 2.3 elevation and 3/10 of wind, well, guess what? Your partner running the same exact speed, same everything, is going to be right there with you. So that is a huge advantage to have that. But this was just a fun match, warm up. This is the first center fire match of the year. This weekend, I have Buffalo Butte Ranch. I think that's the name of it. That one's about 2 hours away, so I'll drive that one. I'll leave early morning again. Go out to that one. It's just a one-day match, but that one I've heard is a really good match, so I'm super excited to go to that. And we'll see if we can get any footage of that one. But this match was a good one, Dakota Duel. If you do have an opportunity to shoot a team match, I think you should do it. Even if you don't know your partner, it's still fun. We're all in this for fun. It's a great community. It's a great sport. It's filled with great people. Like, come on. So I do suggest you go find one. Yeah, that's my little debrief on it. Sorry I didn't get any footage on it. Like I said, it was just cold on day 1, and day 2 was a lot better. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Leave a comment in the video, like, subscribe, those things. And then obviously, if you need any gear and stuff like that, let me know, and I'll get it taken care of. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you at the range.